Hello and welcome to Handshake Pro Wrestling Show Classic Review Series. I am Shane Price, joined by Jayden and Shane, and we are continuing our little WrestleMania look through the years of going 7 years at a time almost to get to 21 as our final stop.
Yep.
Today's 13. 1997. Joka was supposed to be here. He is not right now.
Yep.
So
this was his pick for what we're doing. So
we'll be next week for Jaden's pick, but either way, good WrestleMania to me. Let's get into.
So this was, like you said, WWF Wrestlemania 13, March. It was March 23rd, 1997.
March 23rd, 1997, which is very funny. It is March 25th.
Yeah. So I actually watched the second half of this show on the 23rd, and I didn't even realize it. I was watching it on the day until later,
which is also on a Sunday this year, but as well. So kind of surprising.
In front of 18,197 people in the Rosemont Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois.
Beautiful Allstate Arena.
So I did this last week. This was the second of 3 WrestleManias hosted in Rosemont. I'm sure that you'll know this one much faster. What were the other two?
2/13/22.
Yep. All right. As a greater Chicago area connoisseur.
And they haven't came back since.
Yep. On the commentary, we had Vince McMahon, Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler all night. Honky Tonk Man would join for the IC title match. Shawn Michaels would join for the main event. Whole show runs 2 hours, 47 minutes. Like we said, we were reviewing this this was Joker's pick, I imagine, for the Austin Brett match. So we'll probably just call that what we can't pick it for at the end for Classic Hot Dog Classic Handshake. But little fun fact here before we get started. We don't normally care about this kind of thing, but this was the least bought WrestleMania ever in the pay-per-view model. But they had a great crowd there. You know what I mean? Like 18,000 is a great crowd.
I don't get it.
But it was the least bought WrestleMania ever.
I don't get it.
All right.
Because 14 had...
Also, because this is much better than the one we reviewed last week.
14 had almost about... I would say double and a half the buy count in this. It's 7,500. 7,500. So just a little bit bigger. So the first match is a dark match between Billy Gunn and Too Cold Scorpio. That was on the pay-per-view. But the first match was the new Blackjacks, Bradshaw and Wyndham, against the Godwins, which I know that Joker would have loved talking about them. Hog and Pig, Henry O and Phineas I. The Can-Am Express, Doug Furnace and Danny Crow fought.
Doug Furnace and Philip LaFont.
Yeah, whatever. I know it's
funny that Doug got to keep his name.
Well, the best part is Phil LaFont is his actual name.
Oh, so they just went by their real names, and then he became Danny Crowfont.
He was Danny Crowfont in Japan, and then he comes and uses his actual name.
That's really weird. And, of course, the last team in it.
The Headbangers, Thrasher, and Mosh.
So,
who still is not.
Just incredible. We should mention that on Joker's episode here. Not bad. Bit of fun to start the show. Not what you want from a WrestleMania opener.
I'd agree, not what you want from a WrestleMania opener, but it wasn't bad. But also, the Can-Am Express lost via countout, which is stupid.
Yeah, hindsight 2020, I probably opened with Helmsley and Goldust, I think would have been my opener. And then, of course, hindsight 2020, I do a different main event, too, but we'll get to that later. Next match, what do we got? Oh, I gave this 3 stars.
I gave this the 3 as well. Our next match for the Intercontinental title, we have Rocky Maivia versus...
Nope, say it. Go ahead. Hit me with it.
The Sultan, Big Rikishi Fatu.
A bloodline match, because we will never escape this fuck-ass family, dude.
With Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, why is Bob Backlund there?
Iraqi sympathizer Bob Backlund.
If I had a nickel for every time Bob Backlund made a random small appearance in one of our classic reviews, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
The best part is Joker's a big Bob Backlund guy too. That's the best part.
Yeah. Why was he even involved?
I don't know.
And why was he on the heel side?
I don't know. but he's here.
Yeah.
He's here. And we're big fans of that, I guess. All right. The Honky Tonk Man's on commentary, and they just do some stuff. And
he really lays into Rocky Maivia. He's doing the heel thing.
And then the Rocky wins with a roll up.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Backlund and Iron Sheik hit the ring with the tenacity that only an old Bob Backlund and an old Iron Sheik could give, which is not much. And then Rocky Johnson comes out, which is pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Disregarding all the allegations about Rocky Johnson.
I didn't even know he had allegations.
Minors.
Ugh, yuck.
Destroying all that, it's a good spot.
Yeah. Felt like it was really only here for that moment with Rocky Johnson at the end, but it was still a solid match. I gave this 3 stars also. Like I just thought it was kind of pretty good.
I gave it.
They showed Tony Atlas in the crowd during this too, Rocky Johnson's former tag partner. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it does pretty fun. I don't know why the bloodline will always be in WWE.
Yeah.
This is 1997. This is Rikishi after being Fatu, but before being Rikishi. So we're in that little.
Was there another stop in there somewhere?
Or
was it Fatu right into Sultan right?
There probably was another stop in there somewhere.
Yeah. Him and the Godfather both had a lot of gimmicks.
Yes, they did, and most of them were not very good.
Next match?
He was Hustle Rikishi. See, of course he was in Hustle. Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yep.
With China.
Yep.
Taking on Goldust with Terry Runnels.
Yeah, Marlena smoking a big ass cigar.
Oh, that's a huge cigar. My favorite bit is that Terry Runnels kept the name after she got divorced.
Great bit. This was actually a pretty good match and a lot more fun than I expected.
Yeah,
this was pretty good.
Time was pretty good.
Really entertaining. I gave this 3.5 stars.
I gave it 3.25. And then
next, actually, before we get to the next match, we get the HBK computer gif.
Oh, yeah.
They show HBK doing the WWF
on the CompuServe chat room where he's just like typing
online, where he's just like typing, like hands going 2 feet in the air before each button press, just like he's never seen.
I cannot believe that man was
before.
on cocaine making that skip out right there.
Yep. And that was probably one of those things that was just for the boys. That was just to make Scott Hall laugh.
It probably was just really like having Scott Hall watching it in some WCW back room and you're like,
yeah.
Look what he's doing.
Yeah.
Then we get this match. Okay, I'll be real. This match should have been so much better than it was.
Yeah, I still thought it was really good.
It was good, but it should have been way better. Given who's in it. Owen Hart and the Bulldog against the Mankind and Vader in a double count out for WWF Tag Team titles.
Really good, hard-hitting match with a bad finish. Like, that's my summary here. Like, Mankind and Vader are such a badass tag team, and so were Owen and Bulldog. Like, this was a great
Could you imagine
combo.
this was an Owen versus Bulldog versus Vader's singles match in the Tokyo Dome, though?
That'd be awesome. I gave it 3 3.75 still.
I gave it 3 1/2.
Okay.
Because of the finish, I would have given it 3 3/4 though.
Yeah,
but I really
I'd probably give it 4, maybe even 4.25 if it was a real finish.
If the finish was different, it would have been even better.
Really good. Still, pretty easily second best match of the night for me. Yeah. So great. And I also like going right from Owen to Hart to Bret Hart being the next match. I like that little back to back.
But before we get to Owen Hart, we get the special referee.
Oh yeah, we get Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock, who this time I think is the UFC Super Fight champion and maybe coming off of UFC 5.
Speaking of championships, fun fact here. Then the second fun fact I found: Ken Shamrock had been announced to face Shinya Hashimoto for the IWGP Heavyweight title before he signed with the WWE.
What a terrible mistake
Ken
Shamrock made.
He never signed for the match, but it was announced by New Japan. And he ended up getting a big offer from WWE for like a 3-year contract.
What a terrible mistake.
New Japan was going to do a match-by-match type thing
that
with him. So we missed out on Shamrock versus Shinya Hashimoto. Did he go to Japan eventually?
Well, he was in Pancrase, yeah.
Oh, okay. But not any of the big ones?
That's before.
But he was never in like New Japan, All Japan, none of that.
I don't think so.
Could you imagine a Ken Shamrock Noah run in like 04?
Noki would have loved him. He's
Yeah.
an MMA fighter. You would have given him the belt.
Oh yeah, New Japan run, early New Japan
He
run
would
would have
have
been
got the belt day one.
if he did that instead of
Guaranteed.
going to the NWA TNA.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, on to the match.
We have Owen Hart, Bret Hart.
Not Owen Hart.
Stone Cold, Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like this is one of those matches where there's not much to say about it because everybody's been
Undeniably amazing match. It was a violent, strategic masterpiece. I love the story they told of Bret losing his mind and Stone Cold becoming the resilient badass we'll know him as. Like this defined a new era for Bret Hart and a new era for the company.
Also, one of my favorite promos from Stone Cold is from this feud.
Mm-hmm.
Putting Eris in front of the Hitman. That's what I think about him. I think he's the shit, man.
Awesome. Love some wordplay. Easy 5-star. I mean, gave us one of the most iconic single images in professional wrestling history with Austin. It's the thumbnail of this video if you're watching on YouTube. With Austin, the blood dripping down his face, and in the sharpshooter and passing out from that, and like just a wonderful finish to what was an amazing match. I can't give this anything less than 5 stars.
Yeah, 5, easily 5. Easily 5. But then what the worst part is? It's not the last match in the show.
Yeah, this should have been the main event. Easily.
However, thank God we do get some Ahmed Johnson coming up.
We do get some Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed Johnson and Ron Simmons. So
And
it's like, well, you know.
Ahmed Johnson team with the Road Warriors. Ahmed Johnson wearing the Road Warrior shoulder pads. So badass. So dope.
So cool. It was so cool.
So it's Ahmed Johnson and Legion of Doom versus the Nation of Domination. Technically, Crush, Farouk, and Savio Vega, but it's a no DQ match.
And D'Lo's out there.
So the whole
so
it's basically like 3-on-8 at this time.
Yeah, so it's D'Lo, Clarence Mason, the lawyer, and the White Boys.
Yeah. Ahmed Johnson does a somersault plancha over the barricade in this match.
Dude.
And it's not even the craziest thing that happens in this match.
Dude, he was...
Because like a couple minutes later, there's a noose.
Ahmed Johnson is the most underrated guy. Put it down. Right. Put it down. In make it a quote. Ahmed Johnson is the most underrated guy that's there by far.
By miles and miles.
His finisher rule is the Tiger. It's the Tiger Driver. How can that suck?
Is it the Tiger Driver or is it the Liger Bomb?
It's Tiger Driver.
Tiger Driver. Okay, yeah. Well, I thought it was the one where you do like I don't know, whatever. I might have it wrong. Farouk very ineffectively was trying to hang Hawk.
Yes, I
then
don't know what the hell is going on there.
What happens, and they miss it the first time. They showed in replay. Hawk pulls Farouk's on the top rope, trying to like pull him up with the noose, and Hawk like yanks on the noose and pulls Farouk down. And Farouk actually falls on his shoulder and tears his shoulder in this match.
That's worker.
Yeah,
Ron Simmons is
and
a
then
worker.
the match didn't end for another like 5 minutes. Like he kept working through that. This was actually a lot of fun.
He's a badass.
Here's the thing. I guess the way you make me like a Road Warriors match is to not actually have them wrestle.
Yes.
Have it be a plunder fight. And
we're being distracted by a lights thing here. So
there's like a lighting setup in this for one of the other shows that goes on here, and it is going nuts right now.
You know what? It's red and green. It's the Tiger Driver lights. It loves Ahmed and Masawa.
Oh, it turned off when we were talking about it.
It
got embarrassed.
It got shy. But yeah, this match pretty good. I gave it 3.5.
I also gave it 3.5. This is a pretty good match.
I mean, but it's Ahmed Johnson doing Ahmed Johnson stuff,
And it's Farouk doing Farouk stuff. 2 of our favorites. So, what's main event?
Main event, I guess.
Another no DQ match.
The worst of the two by far. It is Psycho Sid, who is the other guy who's totally underrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's Undertaker.
One thing I love, HBK on commentary for this got full pyro for a commentary appearance.
Hello, he's the top guy. He's the man whore. He's coked up and everything.
For me, this was a way too long, mostly boring and slow match. I gave it 2.25. I thought it was just slightly below average.
This would be Sid's last top thing he did before going to ECW.
Yeah, did you know he only had 2 WrestleMania matches and they were both main events?
That's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, because he also wrestled
Hogan at Mania.
Hogan.
He's the one kicked out of the leg drop because the Godfather missed his cue.
Oh, because Papa Shango missed his cue. Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. His match wasn't very good. I give it a 2. But this is his last main event.
Mm-hmm.
He would leave because his neck was injured and heels neck. He goes to ECW a little bit which
was awesome.
He becomes the coolest motherfucker on the planet, ECW. And ECW comes with a big check and he goes there and breaks his leg and just has to retire.
Yep. Categories?
All right, it is best moment first.
Can it be anything other than Austin passing out?
No, it cannot.
It's either that or it's HBK typing.
it's HBK typing, Ahmed Johnson, the plancha, and Austin's passing out, but Austin's passing out all day.
MVP of the night?
Bret.
Because he does also come out and interfere in the main event and do that promo. I didn't love that, though. I'm kind of inclined to give it to Steve.
Okay.
I really think it's Austin. That's my pick.
All right, I'll go with the Bret.
Heat check. I think Sean on commentary would be a good one. Rocky Johnson would be a good one.
I'm going to go to Sean on commentary and the laptop.
Also Honky Man on commentary. But yeah, Sean with the laptop and commentary. I think I'm going to go with that. The lights are freaking out again.
You know, so I think
this would be very interesting if we had video.
Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson. It just turned off.
It does not like Ahmed Johnson. As long as we don't know Ahmed Johnson.
That's the cue phrase is Ahmed Johnson.
Apex Mountain for Sid? Or was it the Hogan match?
I'm going to say Sid because he's a champion here.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other Apex Mountains here.
This is the Apex Mountain for the Road Warriors, I think. This is their best match.
Is this? All right. Yeah. I can give them that.
Because it's their hometown,
all right.
per se.
I got a few here. Apex Mountain for special guest referees.
Ken is the best one, yeah.
You think Ken's the best one? I think it's arguable.
Because they brought him in to make it more serious of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And
who are some of the other great special guest referees that you can recall? Sean's a great one. Foley had some great ones as a special ref. Foley might have the best full catalog of being a special guest referee.
But best to do it like one time, it's definitely Ken.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I have a couple other unconventional ones. Apex Mountain for Crimson Masks. Apex Mountain for blading.
No, because there's a reason why.
This might not be the best blade job. Is this the biggest blade job? Like the most important blade job?
Yeah, I guess.
Because that would be my argument for it. I think this would be the top blade job out of importance, not out of quality.
I guess, yeah. But out of quality, it's Muda Hase.
I don't even know the reference.
It's called the Muda scale for a reason. There's a lot of blood in that match.
Okay. Wrestling Images is Austin in the sharpshooter Apex Mountain for like wrestling screen grabs.
No.
What would be number 1 for you?
I really like the picture of Undertaker at WrestleMania 30 after he lost. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
You know, he's no idea where he is in that picture, so.
Yeah.
That the Cena on the stage of WrestleMania 28. I like that one too.
Oh, that's a great one. Kofi Mania when they're holding him up. That's a great one. So yeah, it was just something I thought I'd throw out there for conversation. Apex for Bret or Steve?
Nope.
I think the Apex for Bret is Screwjob.
Yeah. And then
and
for
Steve
it's Mania 21. Mania 17.
I think it's Mania. I think it's when it might be when he first wins the title.
Coming in as the challenger for the title in your home state.
Or was the Apex Mountain I can't look at I don't know. It's true. I don't know. It's tough to pick for Austin. He has so many big moments. Could be when he sprayed the corporation down with that beer truck or whatever. Surprise of the show.
Next week, talk about that. Ugh. There's some major breaking news.
Oh, okay. Surprise of the show.
Surprise of the show. I'm going to give it to the Ahmed and the Road Warriors match. Because I did not expect it to be that good. Especially after what it was after, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'll give it to that too. I think that's the best pick. Recasting. Do you want to recast the Bret Steve match? So, or we should go with this, or should we do the main event? It's one of those two.
Let's go with the Bret and Steve because the main event's not that big of a deal.
Okay, so Steve Austin at this time gaining a lot of popularity, priming to be the biggest star in the biz. Had some mid-card success, moving up into the main event. Is this anybody right now? I mean, I feel like it would almost have to be WWE or AEW. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
Is it? Damn. I don't know. Braun Breaker?
I guess.
Could be Braun Breaker. Could be Darby. Kind of primed for a main event push.
Darby, if he never went to
Everest and just completely halted his momentum. Yeah. Could it be somebody else? I'm trying to think of who fits that bill right now, because it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of people have been built up in that kind of way to where they're kind of obviously the next star of the company, the uncrowned next star of the company. I don't know. Is there possibly a women's parallel? Is there somebody in WWE or AEW who's had some little success and is going to be pushed to the main event soon in a way that...
Well, no, that they're already there. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're all already there. There's nobody really moving their way up the...
I guess Megan Bain?
That stat's kind of already there. Willow?
No, she's also kind of already there.
Yeah.
Let's go with Willow then, because she's not fully.
Well, but if it
yet.
doesn't feel right, I don't want to just do it just to land on an answer. Oh, let's look. Maybe we come back to it. Who's Bret? Who's Bret right now? Great technician, solidified star. Actually, you know who might be kind of Austin right now? Is it Sammy? Or is he too much of a star already?
No, I'd say Sammy.
Mid-card success. Or is it... Could it be Gable? Could Gable be Austin right now? A big star on the come-up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's... I don't know if he's on the come-up enough, though. Shit, this is hard. I think LA Knight's too old. I think... Okay, I don't know. Who's Bret? Who's the technician, established star? Could be Gunther. Could be... Danielson's too old right now to be Bret in 97. Could be... ZSJ, I was going to say. Yeah, Gunther or ZSJ would be my picks. ZSJ, I think, would be a better one for this Bret.
So ZSJ and
an up-and-comer. So we could take this New Japan then.
Shota Umino?
Well, I was going to say, is it David Finlay?
Ooh.
Is he the closest we have to Austin right now?
And Windy City Riot's that match going to happen in Windy City Riot. That's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect.
So ZSJ and David Finlay at Windy City Riot is going to be the closest we can get. Obviously, it's not going to be nearly what Bret Austin was.
What if it is?
In importance, but it's kind of the closest parallel we can draw right now. Double feature. I think Bret Austin with Bret Owen would be a great one.
Yeah.
Or honestly, back-to-back WrestleMania 12, WrestleMania 13, Bret Shawn, Bret Austin. You could do a trilogy there. Bret Shawn, Bret Austin, Shawn Austin. Any others that you could think of that you'd like to pair with this?
There's so many matches. Obviously, Austin Rocco and Steve one of those for some reason either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of a great run there for big Mania matches for a few years. Anything from this make the Wrestling Criterion Collection? I think
the pass out, yeah.
I think the whole match. I think
okay.
Yeah, I think Bret versus Stone Cold I mean, as long as you're good with it, I think the whole match of Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin with, of course, special referee Ken Shamrock. I think that makes our Criterion Collection. Hey, back-to-back Criterion Collection weeks. We put Macho and Elizabeth reuniting in there last week, and now Bret and Austin. So that's the 12th item in our Criterion Collection. I won't run down the whole list again. I did that last week if you want to hear that. Classic Hot Dog, Classic Handshake. No Bret Austin. I'm personally... You can make an argument for the Road Warriors Legion of Doom Ahmed Johnson match. That was really fun, but I think I'm going to go Owen and Bulldog versus Vader and Mankind.
I'm going to go with Ahmed in that match.
So Ahmed in the Road Warriors versus the Legion of Doom.
That springboard plancha, dude.
The somersault plancha over the barricade.
That makes it that, man.
Yeah. Of course, the rule is there. We can't do what we picked the show for.
He's talking about Ahmed Johnson, and guess what happens? The light goes on again.
Out of 10, let me see if I can find the right spreadsheet here. What do you give the show out of 10? Full show. A lot
better than last week's show.
I agree.
I'm gonna give it.
You gave last week a 4, by the way.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
6. I also gave it a 6. So we're right on the same page. But last week I gave the show 2.5. So we were a little off yet last week, but we both ended up at the same place this week. With that, next week, little detour on the classic road to WrestleMania. You want to tell us?
What is Hot Dog and a Handshake Pro Wrestling Show doing at the Impact Zone?
Yep. TNA Final Resolution 2006. Do you remember the significance of
Monty Brown is on this show for sure.
Okay, but why are we doing it in the context of 2025? Is coming up at Windy City Riot. Hiroshi Tanahashi is wrestling his last match in the States. This card, Final Wrestling 06, was his first televised match in the States against one AJ Styles. Okay. Also just some classic TNA names. Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, Roderick Strong's on this card. That's crazy. Raven's here. Bobby Roode, Ron Killings, Rhino and Abyss. America's Most Wanted versus Team 3D. Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels. Main event is Sting and Christian Cage versus Jeff Jarrett, Monty Brown. Just classically TNA. So we're taking a little detour on the road to WrestleMania, passing through the Impact Zone, and then we'll be back with WrestleMania 21 after that. Anything else, Shane, or you want to take us out of here?
That's all I got. And if you stay tuned next week, I'll get a show coming up. Last week was a show. Anyways, just enjoy wrestling.
Were you controlling this light in here?